bio wise, what's it's going to pop on here in a second. I have the bio somewhere there. All right, there we go. Yes. All right. We are live on Facebook. I'm going to start recording on Zoom. Those of you joining us on Facebook and YouTube, thank you for joining us. We're going to record an episode and do it live here, the What Are You Made Of podcast. So bear with us 1 second and we'll be right with you, and I'll introduce our guest. All right, welcome back to the What Are You Made Of podcast with your boy, Mike C-Roc. Guys, I always start the show with gratitude. I'm so thankful for you joining me. There he is. There he is. That's our guest. He's a little fired up, guys. Just bear with us. We're going to let him out in a minute. But listen, I want to thank all of you for being here and listening to the What Are You Made Of podcast, supporting the movement. And we can't go worldwide and reach the millions and millions of people that we're going to reach without you. So first of all, thank you so much for joining us. Our guest today, Dr. David Fabi, MD. He's an orthopedic surgeon who's also the CEO of Advanced Surgery Center of North County. He's entering the motivational speaking industry now and always inspiring to enter other industries with his entrepreneurial mindset. Sounds like a lot of us guys. With a following of over 87,000 on Instagram, Dr. Fabi's goal is to reach the 7.2 billion people in the world. He is a world-renowned orthopedic surgeon specializing in hip and knee replacements and world pioneer, innovator of robotic joint replacement surgery. Dr. David, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you, brother. Call me David, so hey, we're on the level right here. So first off, thanks for taking the time to do this. Really appreciate your time. Love what you're doing. So a little update on those numbers. I guess it's 7.5 billion people now in this world. And then, so that's the vision, that's the goal. And then, luckily, currently I'm at 217K followers, 217,000 on Instagram. But
it's going up big time, man. We need to update that bio, Holmes.
No, exactly. It's like you. It's like just reach. I want to spread the message because it's much bigger than I am. So, no, thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. Been excited for this.
Yeah, look, man. You've got an established career and you're successful in what you do already. So I want to learn more about that. But before we do anything, we always start the show asking you, what are you made of?
What am I made of? I'm made of grit, determination, and, optimizing potential, because I believe in human potential. I believe it's infinite. And right now, for me, I like to test that. I like to see, what's the potential within me and where I can take that. So that's what I'm all about. I'm all about giving back, and contribution. So, and growth. So there's a lot of words that go into that. So, I like to consider myself multi-dimensional. So.
Now, we see you're in your scrubs right now. So what did you just get done doing? You just told me.
I just got done doing a partial knee replacement. Everything went great. He's going home in a few hours. So a patient that's near and dear to my heart. I've known him for a while. So we got to deliver. That's
awesome, man. That's awesome. Now, did you guys pause for COVID at all, like with knee replacements?
Oh, absolutely. So like surgery, of course, had to be canceled and postponed. It was the right thing to do, just because we had to flatten the curve. So we were probably down for about 6 weeks, but for me, I maximized that time. I utilized it for other things, but now we're starting to ramp up, so it's all
awesome.
Good.
Well, listen, on your journey to being a doctor and being in a success that you are in your field, what kind of hurdles did you run into and challenges that you overcame? And not only that you overcame them, but also you still, not that you like to look back, but you look and refer back to it for fuel. Because we talk about all the time turning setbacks into rocket fuel. That's what Waymo's all about.
I love that. I just got chills from you saying that. It's I love the way how you present that, and it's so true. So, I'll start from the beginning. I guess it was a dark, stormy night when I was born. No, I'm joking. My parents are Filipino. So, initially I saw the model in terms of what they did. It took a lot of courage for them to immigrate from the Philippines. Imagine like you, me, going to a different country right now and reestablishing. It takes a lot of, for lack of a better word, I don't like to swear a lot, but it takes a lot of balls. And so, I didn't want to disrespect that. So I saw the model hard work there. Another thing also, my mom was a doctor. So of course, in our culture, being a doctor is the pinnacle. You can be the president of any country, but that pales in comparison to a doctor. So she always pushed me towards that route. In terms of hurdles, I'll tell you, luckily academic wise, I was always pretty strong. I think a lot of that was the focus from my parents. I always had the competitive nature. Michael Jordan, been watching The Last Dance. He was my idol growing up. I'm from Chicago. So, yeah, I mean, I was competitive straight from the womb. So kind of utilized that. But I'll tell you, setbacks, a lot of it, honestly, was a lot of insecurity, because I needed that exterior kind of accomplishments to make me feel better about myself. So that was my journey as a young person. And then, in terms of matriculating to medical school, I'll tell you, during pre-med, my first examination was an organic chemistry test, which is a weed out class to see if you've got the teeth to make it to medical school. And I pretty much failed it. And for me, like, I wasn't used to that. I wasn't used to failing an exam. And I sat in self-pity, I sat in self-doubt, being like, can I do this? But you know what? It's one of those things that you said, like, I doubled down, triple down for the next one, and just put in the time, put in the hard work, and slam that next test. And that really kind of gave me that rocket fuel that you talked about to really keep going. And then,
well, now let me ask you, on that exam that you failed, did you put a lot of time and effort into studying, or did you kind of half-ass it?
I did, but what I realized, I was using my high school skills to study in the college realm, so it's like I didn't level up. What I was doing was probably enough for high school, but not enough for pre-med. So that's what I realized. It's like an athlete, going from, you can be an all-American high school athlete, but if you don't come to play in college, you're not going to get playing time, so you always got to advance. And that was an eye-opener there. And then in terms of interviewing for medical school, I got, maybe a handful of interviews. I only got into one medical school, but, I needed a foot in the door. That's all I needed. All I needed was a foot in the door. And I'll tell you, another setback was my first semester of medical school. It was like a slap in the face. Total 180 compared to what I was used to, because in college, my senior year, I had like 12 credits. All I did, I was there just to have a good time. I went from that pretty much, going out 8 nights out of 7 nights a week, and going to medical school, totally different. And honestly, I think I got some clinical depression there, and I was ready to quit, but luckily quitting has never been in my DNA. I've gotten to the brink, but I'm like, what, I just stuck it through. And I'm like, this is something I've been working hard for. I'm not going to quit right now. So luckily I didn't, because that was a crossroads in my life. And luckily I went this way rather than that way.
Now, did you reach the external validation that you were looking for your internal insecurities?
Yeah. I would get it
there yet.
I would get it temporarily, but then, it was fleeting. Now, thank God, through a lot of self-investment, a lot of reading, a lot of knowledge, a lot of reaching out to people like you, that's not what it's for anymore. I'll be honest, like, there's that primitive aspect. I think it's within all of us. It's within me that, getting that exterior accomplishment, it feels good, but it's much, much more than that. It's just kind of just appreciating and knowing that, like, what's capable. And it just keeps being a gateway for me, because the quote unquote more successful that I am, the more I can contribute to other people, the more options that I have for that. So, that's what forces me to grind. That's what, because, through self-investment, I was able to really unleash and optimize the passions that I have, because a lot of that was drowned out by a lot of, internal circumstances, whatnot. But when you have that passion, like, you'll work hours for it and not burn out. Like, you love it because it's fun.
It's an obsession.
So,
yeah.
Now,
so why didn't you just stick with orthopedic surgery? Why didn't you just do that? Why are you going out beyond that right now? And I'll have some more questions based on that. By the way, guys, if you're watching live on Facebook and live on YouTube, shoot your questions for Dr. David in the comments. And if we get any, I'll try to answer them or get them answered for you. So
Awesome. Yeah. So, before I want to thank all those that are tuning in right now. Really appreciate it. Kind of one more thing about that last question. There was an important exam that I failed like early in my practice, and that really potentially jeopardized my career. And that was something where, again, I hit a dark moment in my life, and but very similar to that exam that I had, I drew on that experience. This was of a little more higher magnitude, because it was like all these years of hard work, and it may go away. but like, you know, I tripled down for that exam and I nailed it. So now I draw on that experience to make me quote unquote more bulletproof, because more tough things are going to happen down the line. So why orthopedics? You know, I'm not one, complacency has never been in my DNA. You know, I always like to grow, like to expand. And, you know, I like being uncomfortable, you know, because we talked about potential, human potential. And I know it's cliche, you know, I don't believe in limits, you know, and I think, you know, it goes along that line. I just want to know that my time on this earth has been maximized. You know, I don't want to die with my dreams. I don't want to be buried with my dreams, because I have a lot of other passions. You know, I uncovered this passion for helping others, for motivational speaking, also for car racing. You know, that's a huge passion of mine, and I'm looking to be. My goal is to be pro and to drive in the Le Mans. You know, people think
Awesome.
it's crazy, but hey, you know, those are their limits, not mine. So, you know, that's what it's all about. And you know, Tony Robbins always says that growth is happiness. So, you know, that's what I believe in.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
now, how far along are you in the motivational speaking journey?
Yeah. So, you know, I started my social media initiative probably about 2 years ago, but really kind of, you know, hardcore the last year. And so now I do a lot of motivational stuff through social media, through Instagram, also just mentoring people that reach out to me. They direct message me. And then also a lot of pre-med students, medical students will come observe me in the OR and the clinic. And that's another avenue to provide some motivation there. I started writing a book during quarantine times, a motivational book. So the goal is to roll that out by the end of the year. I'm going to start working on workbooks, and the vision is to do seminars, online stuff. I do have a YouTube channel, you know, doing podcasts, which I've kind of slacked off on a little bit, but I'm going to get that ramped up going again. So it's just kind of casting a wide net with everything, and it's organic, it's evolving. And, you know, the vision is to have something along the lines of Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, but of course with my authentic spin on it. So.
Right. Now, let me ask you this, because I go through this. I'm doing the same thing. I have a mortgage company that we run in the Mid-Atlantic region and Miami.
Yeah.
And we're working on really expanding that sucker. Like, we got it running like a machine at the size it is now, but we're working on scaling up now. So, but at that same time, I have a great team there. Now I'm going out on the What Are You Made Of movement, the podcast. I'm adding members to this team as well, but it's further behind the mortgage thing. So then we're working on building this, but then sometimes I have so much that I want to accomplish. Like, I have 50 million thoughts going through my head, running at 50 million miles an hour. And I had a talk today with my assistant, Kim. I was like, Kim, you know, we got to get focused. Like, I feel like I need to step back and refocus on some things. And I'm vulnerable, man. I'll share it with people, because I want people to see, I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
I don't have a belief. I know where I'm going.
I love that.
But the journey is invisible for a lot of people. That's a success. So I want to show people this journey, and I want to share with them. Like, right now, man, listen, a lot of great things are happening in our mortgage business, everything. But I feel like I need to get laser focused. Do you feel like that sometimes?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I feel like we're kind of like-minded, you know, that, I got a lot of projects, got a lot of things that I've written down, but, you know, everything that I read is like, you know, we think we can multitask, but that's honestly not the truth. You know, we got to stay focused. We got to stay vision. So you got to put pen to paper, you know, you just kind of like got to develop an action plan. And of course, things are not going to be perfect. Before you start, you just got to jump in, you know, and you got to have some basic tenets on what you want to get accomplished. So it's like a step-by-step process. Just really choose the goal right now that's really, you know, that's really important to you, that's prioritized right now. So you just got to kind of knock it out step by step and develop an action plan, you know, day by day. You know, because all those little goals that you accomplish during the day is part of the huge collective that's going to happen. You know, so for me, you know, right now, you know, the focus is the 3 pillars. You know, like you, my orthopedic practice is kind of one. I've developed a system that is kind of well-oiled machine, right? It just kind of moves on its own. So now I can kind of I can make more time to do other things. So right now, you know, the focus is doing the motivational stuff. So it's focusing on social media right now, you know, so Instagram. So right now that's become kind of its own organic machine. And then now I'm working on TikTok, because this is a generational thing, you know, to cast a wide net. You know, TikTok is the iGeners, Instagram is the millennials, you know, and then Facebook is the Gen Xers, and also, you know, the baby boomers.
Yeah.
So right now, that's the focus, staying laser focused on that. I'm also
kind of growing a following, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So kind of laser focused on that, and also kind of doing podcasts, doing interviews with you like yourself. And, like for me today, this is a victory that I had towards that vision, So Grant Cardone also says that, like, break your day down into 15-minute intervals, 10-minute intervals, and just cram in there. That keeps you in the moment.
It does.
That
It works.
keeps you focused. It keeps you really focused on the task at hand, because, there's paralysis in all, like, trying to get all this stuff accomplished. But once you do that, it kind of takes care of itself.
It really does. Yeah.
I hope that helps you. So
yeah. No, you know what? Look,
it's hard to temper that. Yeah.
I've heard all this stuff before. Yeah. I've heard it all before, but sometimes you like, it's good to chat with people because it reminds you. Like, I know the 15-minute drill. I talk to my team about it all the time. The people I coach, hey, time management, let's go 15 minutes. Yeah. Do it for 24 hours. Let me know what it looks like.
Yeah.
So but it's good to do that. Now, how are you planning on separating yourself from Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone? How are you planning on doing that? Like, that's the thing. What I have is I've created a what are you made of movement, Mike C-Roc, your boy C-Roc, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's your thing and your theme, not just the brand, but your theme.
I mean, because, these days status quo is like dead, right? Like, we got to move quickly. We got to be beyond status quo quickly, and people value, and they should have always valued. And I've always, maybe not always, but valued authenticity and being unique. So I guess my unique spin on it is, like, there's no orthopedic surgeon that's in the game for motivational speaker. There's a doctor, how am I forgetting his name? Dispenza. So he's a doctor motivator, but, he's not in the orthopedic surgeon game. So, I think that's got some draw to it, because, for right or wrong, surgeons, there's a cool aspect to it, so to speak. People are drawn into that. So, I'm able to use that to kind of cross-pollinate into the motivational speaking game. And, again, it's just staying authentic to my personality. What's going to change it up is that, I have a lot of inspirers like David Goggins, Eric Thomas, Gary V, Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins. So I'm going to amalgamate what I like about them and kind of put it all into one package with my own unique spin on it, So I think that potentially can separate me from that.
Yeah.
And then also just using, I'm going to write a book, and I'm writing a book that is a surgeon's story on how the principles, the characteristics that we have to adopt to become successful in our practice. And that translates to every type of whatever industry you want to get in, whatever type of success you want to get in, that translates to life. So I'm going to use that story, that perspective to help motivate others, no matter what they're doing. It doesn't have to be medicine.
Yeah, I love it, man. That's awesome. Yeah. I got a book I'm writing. It's supposed to be out this summer called What Are You Made Of? The Art of People Building. And I believe in building people.
I'm getting it. New York Times bestseller. I'm getting it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, dude, without a doubt. I already told Carolyn, who's working with me, I said, Carolyn, we're going to do this. I'm not writing this book unless it's going to be a bestseller. So let's get our minds right on that right now.
Yeah.
And I already tell people, look, I'm writing the bestseller. So I've been telling people that. You got to put it out in the universe, man. And then
there's power in words. There's power in words.
And I can tell you right now, again, because I want to share the being transparent. Dude, it's scary, man. It's scary. And the responsibility that you put on yourself to do that is a heavy weight, but it's good. It's uncomfortable. It stresses me out in a good way. Like Richie Dolan, one of my mentors, he says, use stress, not distress. Use stress is the good stress. That's the kind I want to put on myself. That's the kind of stress I want to put on my team, and continue to stretch them. Because look, like memory foam, if you stop pushing on memory foam, it goes back to its original form. Well, when we're coaching people and speaking to people, we need to make sure that we keep pushing them and stretching them and pulling them, because if we don't, we lay off on them because we think that we're being too hard on them, or we just get lackadaisical, then they go back to form again. And that's, to me, it's a duty, if I'm working with someone or speaking to someone, that I need to get them out of that original form.
Yeah.
And keep them there.
I love that, man.
Right.
I love that, man. Yeah. Because I believe in, it's within all of us, it's just tapping into that, and, your gift is to be able to get that out of people, you know. First and foremost, I love your watch, by the way. It's pretty dope.
Thank you. Thank you. That was a reward for having a really good year back in 2012, I think. So thank you.
Yeah. I mean, pressure, you know, pressure, stress makes diamonds, you know. So you know, that's because I'd rather, and this sound a little crazy, not crazy, philosophical, deep, whatever, you know, I'd rather be buried, being weathered by life, being, you know, kind of having scars, so to speak, because I know I've experienced life, you know, rather than be pristine, because, you know, that once you get through that stress, you know, the world becomes more and more of a magical place, and it just makes you battle tested. And to be battle tested, because life is not always easy, to be battle tested is a good it's a good thing to have. So
it builds you.
Yeah.
So what is something, and I always ask the guests now, first of all, what was the reason that you came on this show today?
Yeah, well, you know, I'll be honest, you know, so I work with Influencer Press with Ulysses, but he's been kind of plugging me in, and they've been plugging me in with, you know, these like-minded podcasts, you know, and then you know, so then I saw this opportunity. I saw like your nickname, C-Roc. I love that. You know, I love what you're doing, the title of your podcast. So like, you know, I'm here to learn, man, you know, and I'm a student for life. And, you know, I've already learned a lot from you so far. And that's what I love doing. And just to cast a wide net, you know, spread the message. Yeah.
I love it, man. Look, and here's the thing. So as I'm doing this podcast, I'm learning from my guests, right? I mean, I don't have an opportunity to sit down and talk to an orthopedic surgeon. I don't know a lot of questions to ask you about orthopedics. Luckily, I haven't had to have that issue pop up yet.
No,
but the thing is also is that when somebody's on my podcast and I connect with someone, I always write my goals down every single day, a couple times a day, like Grant, my mentor, talks about, right? One of the things I always write down here is I'm taking my homies with me. And a lot of people won't get that. But when I connect with someone, my team at the mortgage company and the people that I connect with, I want to take them with me on the journey wherever we're going. It's not something that I want to do by myself. It's not fun to go by yourself. Sometimes I take trips to Miami for like business or something, and my wife won't come because the kids or something. And I'm by myself. If my cohorts aren't there, it's boring. I just sit there in the hotel room. I go to dinner, have a drink, and then I go back to the room, and it's like, dude, I don't want to do that. I want to bring my homies with me. You know? So I love that. And
no, I love that. I mean, because to me, this is like, you know, like a mastermind group, right? And like, you know, because Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, and a lot of these books talk about having a mastermind group, you know, kind of associate yourself, power of proximity with like-minded individuals. And it's great that we have this technology to really link up and collaborate. But, you know, I always leave these meetings like kind of ready to run through a brick wall. You know, I'll run through that brick wall behind you because it just jazzes me up and motivates.
This isn't that hard, man. This is like just cloth. So you want to run through something, I'll give you something to run through. No, I feel the same way. Like you know, that's a great feeling to have, is like nothing can stop me, man. Like nothing could stop me. That's that confidence. When COVID happened, by the way, like preparation that we had in our business and my mindset going into COVID, and when that happened, I'm like, dude, listen, a lot of people are going to freeze right now. A lot of people are going to stop. What we're going to do, I told my team, we're going to do the opposite. We're going full force right now, and people are laying off right now. We're going to hire. Let's just do it and see what happens. And we had, believe me, March, April were record months back to back. And we didn't just break a record in April. We doubled the best month prior in our business. Dude, nobody does that, man. And without it's all mindset and everybody buying in as a team and ready to run through walls. So
because there's opportunity there, you know, and you got to take calculated risks, you know. So now, and then for you with the surgery center being shut down because of COVID, so that they could flatten the curve, you could have said, hey, I'm off, and then just chill and use it as an excuse to chill, or develop yourself. And that's what you did, right? Yeah, because I'm a spiritual person, and I believe, you know, a lot of these things, you know, happen at the right timing, you know, for the right reason. So it gave me a little time for self-reflection, to dial back a little bit, which is kind of needed. But, you know, after about a week, I was already kind of getting antsy, you know. So it gave me time to work more on this motivational social media stuff, and to really get started on that book that I was talking about. So, and you know, like yourself, I had to be resourceful, you know, because, you know, let's be honest, you know, money is important, that's what makes the world go round. I value the dollar just as much as the next person. I'm not greedy, I don't want to be greedy. That's not in line with me. That's not in line with my heart, and that's not sustainable. But, so I had to like call audibles on how to kind of bring some other income streams in, like doing telemedicine, doing other projects, consulting with medical device companies, so it's not a lack of resources, lack of resourcefulness. So
yeah, action, man.
It's been Tony Robbins action.
No, but it's action, dude. Anybody that doesn't achieve their goals or what they want to do, they go back and look. And if they have their goals in line, they just didn't take enough action. So that's the key. What are you struggling with right now? Personally, professionally, what's something that you're struggling? Because look, we get on these podcasts a lot of times. We're talking about knowledge and we're talking about what we're going to do. Yeah. But what's something that you're struggling with?
That's a great question. I'll tell you, gyms not being open. So haven't been able to work out, but that time's coming. But I think this is a great question, great timing, because yesterday I was in the mindset. I'm like, gosh, I don't think I'm accomplishing enough. I know there's more within me, and I look at some my friends, other people that I know, and they're like, they're I perceive them at a level that's higher than me. But that was kind of like, it was kind of eye-opening, but then I had to take a step back and like, what, and I'm having this, but like, what, this I'm using this to fuel me, to keep me action oriented, and just to know all the hard work that I'm putting in right now, not monetarily is gonna pay off, figuratively.
Yeah.
And because, we oftentimes overestimate what we can accomplish in a year, but underestimate what we can accomplish in 10 years. So.
Yep. No, dude, that's great, man. And the thing is, you compare yourself to others sometimes. I fall into that trap sometimes too, but then you got to remember that there's other people that view you as like killing it. And, so you got to be careful not to fall in the trap one way or the other. The thing is, man, I'll give you a little foot in the butt if you don't mind here for a second. Yeah. The gym's not being open when you say that to me is an excuse. So you need to get on a bike. You need to go jog, push-ups, burpees, lunges, squats, whatever you need to do, man. Let's get it done. Right. Yeah. Come on now.
No, I've been, I really didn't like doing cardio, but now, every time I run like 3 or 4 times a week, I've been going about 4 or 5 miles, which is never what I've done. Unfortunately, my knee started bugging me 2 days ago.
I know a good doctor.
And I'm with the David Goggins, even if I feel I can't run, I'm like, I'm not going to quit. Like one time I felt like I had to vomit. I'm like, it's going to take me to vomit to stop. I'll keep going. One time I had to take a dump. I'm like, this is not going to stop me. But I stopped here because I'm going car racing this weekend. I need my knee to work, so working with the pedal and the brake, but I think that'll subside pretty soon. So,
Well, listen, Dave, how can my audience get in touch with you, engage with you? Do you have anything to offer? Anything, dude, plug away, man.
Parting words. So, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. It's Dr Fabulous. So dr.fabilus. I respond to direct messages very quickly. So that's a good gateway. I'm here to help. And then also, like I said, don't die with your dreams, just go for it. Time doesn't, you don't get time back. So maximize every second of your life, just to know, I want my gravestone to say, and I think this will help other people. Sorry, someone's calling me. To help other people, you want your epitaph on your gravestones to say, here's a person, here's a human being that gave everyone and gave life his or her all. So that's it.
Love it, man. Love it. Well, thank you very much for joining us, man. I appreciate the connection now. And you guys have been listening to the What Are You Made Of podcast with your boy, Mike C-Roc. Please go subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform. And if you like watching these, I put the videos up on YouTube at Mike C-Roc Sirocco. Go subscribe. Tell your friends and family, coworkers. Tell everybody. That's the only way we can grow this movement is with your help. So I appreciate you. Until next time, be great.
Thanks again, man. You're awesome. Appreciate it.